दोस्तों 14 फरवरी एक एसीवी आके एक सीआरपीएफ के गाड़ी को टक्कर देती है और उसमें जो एक बॉम्ब धमाका होता है जहां पे 40 से 42 सीआरपीएफ जवान की डेथ होती है। तो ये जो घटना है ये एक सिंपल मैंने 10-15 सेकंड में ये घटना आपको बताया, लेकिन ये पूरी देश में एक हलचल मचा है, पूरी दुनिया में एक बहुत बड़ा न्यूज और सनसनी बना है। और सबसे जो बड़ी बात इस पूरी डिस्कशन में ये है, और हम पूरी डिस्कशन उसी पे करने की कोशिश करेंगे, कि जितने भी इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं, चाहे वो मीडिया हो, पॉलिटिक्स हो, ब्यूरोक्रेसी हो, या अलग अलग जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, उन्होंने और सिविल सोसाइटी और आम आदमी, इन्होंने जो एंगल लिया इस पे, वो एंगल आपको जो दिखेगा बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग और मैं तो सरप्राइजिंग मानता हूं। और सरप्राइजिंग शायद नहीं, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं एक जो सिविल सोसाइटी, एक जेंटल और अच्छे जो सोसाइटी होती है, उनकी रिएक्शन कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है इस तरह से नहीं होता जो हमारे देश में अभी इस पूरी केस में हुआ है। लेकिन मेरे से ज्यादा बेहतर हमारे जो पैनलिस्ट हैं वो बता पाएंगे। इस डिस्कशन में मैं क्या एंगल हम लेंगे ये मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन जो हम चीज समराइज करने की कोशिश करेंगे, व्हाट हैज बीन द लेसन्स फ्रॉम दिस पुलवामा टेरर अटैक। पुलवामा टेरर अटैक ये पहला कोई अटैक इस देश में नहीं हुआ, और मैं तो दुआ करता हूं और चाहता हूं कि ये ऐसे अटैक या कैसे भी अटैक इंडिया में और कभी भी ना हो। आतंकवादी हमला जो होता है, भले ही उससे डेथ कितनी होती है वो बड़ी केस नहीं है, लेकिन ये जो एक डर, एक खौफ जो आतंकवाद लेके आता है, वो पूरी नेशनल पॉलिसी उससे बनती है, लोगों की परसेप्शन उससे बहुत, इसकी इंपैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा होता है। हालांकि दुनिया में कार एक्सीडेंट में जितने लोग मरते हैं वो टेरर अटैक से डेथ से कई गुना ज्यादा है। लोग दारू पी के जितने मरते हैं उसका भी नंबर इससे ज्यादा है। लोग और भी छोटे छोटे डिजीज से जो लोग मरते हैं उसके भी नंबर ज्यादा है, लेकिन इसकी जो खौफ है सोसाइटी में, जो इंपैक्ट है वो डिफरेंट है। क्यों? क्योंकि ये एक नेशनल सिक्योरिटी का सवाल है। तो अब इसमें बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ 3 इंपॉर्टेंट मेहमान हैं। एक पैनलिस्ट जुड़ने वाले हैं, अजय सभरवाल, हु इज द फाउंडर एंड प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन यूथ इकोनॉमिक एसोसिएशन, एक उभरते हुए सितारा हमारे देश के, एक यंग लीडर। और मेरे इमीडिएट लेफ्ट में जो है डॉक्टर ख्वाजा एम शाहिद, जो फॉर्मर वीसी हैं मौलाना आजाद नेशनल उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी। सर, ये जो पूरी केस जो अभी तक हुआ है, इसका योर फर्स्ट एंड प्रिलिमिनरी रिएक्शन on any front, your observation.
So before getting into the specifics, you mentioned other kinds or modes through which more people have died. Right? There's a fundamental difference. People who are dying as a result of drinking and driving,
right,
doing so by their own will or desire, right? At least those who are driving, right?
Right.
Another situation where someone who's walking on the road and is
absolutely
by someone who's drinking, has drunk and is driving, right? Same with respect to medical or other situations where people die, right? Sure.
Right.
I mean, not that we want people to die of those causes and not of those.
Right.
But there is a fundamental difference, and there's a sense of force.
Absolutely.
There is a motivation to kill people, right? There's a motivation to kill innocent people. That is what fundamentally different, right? With respect to the specific situation or the specific terror attack at Pulwama on the 14th of February, it is, at least in terms of the death toll, the worst recorded terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely.
Specifically, right? And it was not just an attack on civilians, as we have seen in the past, where in cities, either in Mumbai or in Kolkata or in Delhi, civilians are targeted in terrorist attacks. However, with respect to Jammu and Kashmir, the norm seems to be the opposite, right? Where it is mostly the forces, the security forces, which are the targets.
Right.
When we talk about terrorist attacks. So with respect, and sure, I mean, on that front, it is not a deviation from the norm. Like for terrorists operating in the Kashmir Valley The primary target has always been the security forces, right? But something of this scale, something of this severity, of this magnitude, has not been witnessed up until now, right? 350 kilograms of explosives, it's almost unimaginable, right? Perhaps if such a situation or such specific incident would not have happened up until now, we'd say, okay, perhaps something like this is not possible, right? I mean, to a certain extent, we say there are certain security measures that will be implemented. The troops, whether they're military, specifically army troops or they're CRPF jawans, right? If they're being transported from one place to another, sure, we would expect that the security for them would be such that such an attack just couldn't take place, right? The most fundamental issue that needs to be highlighted here is the sheer, I mean, I don't even want to get into any other word, but this is just a very impossible, right? Sure, I'm running out of words here, but before something like this would have happened, we would have considered, okay, no, something like this can't happen. Right? CRPF won't be attacked, and certainly not like this. This is an unimaginable thing. That's the worst possible. So when 9/11 happened, or when 26/11 happened, we didn't expect those kind of things to have happened up until the point that they did. And I think that is one of the main lessons that we must also take, which I'm sure the establishment, so to say, the security establishment of this country will take. That is, if you want to defeat asymmetric warfare, if you want to win in asymmetric warfare, if you want to defeat forces that are carrying out asymmetric warfare, the issue is that they are being really, for the lack of a better phrase, creative, right? Every time we have an attack, which is something that's unimaginable. And we need to respond.
So I'm extremely happy to invite Professor Ujjwal Chowdhry to our discussion, to our debate. And there is no other than Professor Chowdhry, I can imagine, who can give expert view on the topic that we are discussing, viewers. So I have no clear mandate as to in which direction we are going to discuss, because there are 3-4 areas that we have what I understand. One is the political angle of it, one is the national security and strategy point of it, the other is Kashmir problem, and the fourth one is Pakistan problem. Unless we discuss all 4 together, I do not think we can come to a point of conclusion. But before coming to Professor Shahid, I want to say this. When 9/11 happened, suddenly public came on the street against anti-Islam, anti-Muslim slogan, irrespective of knowing the fact who are the criminals and how to address them. That was one. Similarly, when I saw this, we saw the entire country observed when this Pulwama attack took place, we suddenly saw people on the street with anti-Pakistan slogan. Now, there is nothing wrong in that. Maybe if Professor Chowdhry would like to come on that.
Just now, I do not know what exactly was being discussed in the...
Yeah, we were taking the observation on the case.
I have certain observations, and I would like to... I've already written in 5 media on within 24 hours of the attack on Pulwama massacre, questioning the government on many issues.
Right.
There are 3 aspects to it, and since I've just now entered, I'll take a couple of minutes to explain. 3 aspects to it. One is the immediate questions that we should ask. Second is the Pakistan angle, and third is the long-term
national security
solution and national security and all. It's not just national security; it's also ensuring development of Kashmir as well. So, having said all this thing, the first thing, questions. The CRPF has asked for airlifting of convoys, which was not given by the government. It's a sitting duck to send 75 vehicles with 2,500 soldiers on the same track at the same time every day. They are a sitting duck. And if that is happening at that point of time, how a civilian car hits a vehicle at the middle of the convoy without being resisted? And in a situation, it cannot happen in Delhi. And it has happened in a high security zone where the concern of the government and the entire system is very high. Next question. How does he have 300, he's just an 18-year-old boy, Adil, 300 kgs of RDX. From where is he accumulated? Was my security sleeping? I have no right to ask Pakistan Prime Minister any question, but I have right to ask my Prime Minister a question, because I have elected my Prime Minister. Let my government give us response to Pakistan in the right way. That's a different thing. But I have the right to ask my government. And I'm asking my government, why have my soldiers faced this situation? Why a convoy with 300 kgs of RDX run by an 18-year-old boy that needs a lot of training, that needs a lot of logistics planning, that needs a lot of accumulation of this ammunition over a long period of time? So these questions, and now the governor himself has said there seems to be an intelligence failure. The governor Satyapal Malik has himself said that. So this is one aspect. The other aspect of the question is, if we truly feel that Kashmir is integral part of India, which I feel it is, because there has been an agreement, and which Hari Singh, Sheikh Abdullah and Government of India were party. So if that is true, when Kashmir is bleeding, is the rest of India even bothered? Is the rest of India even bothered? So when there is an attack on the soldiers by a terrorist, Kashmiri-born terrorist, supported and trained by Jaish-e-Mohammed from Pakistan, if that is the reality, how can the whole country, hooligans of the whole country in the name of nationalism, chase Kashmiri students from the universities? They believed in India and came to the universities to study. They came to Aligarh Muslim University, they came to Pacific University, they came to Dehradun University. Every university in the country has certain Kashmiri students component. They came believing that India is a part of their motherland. They believed and have come here. And you are chasing them out, you are harming them.
I will certainly have some counter question here.
So
before
having said that, I want to also point out one. So having said this, on the issue of the government on Pakistan, I am with the government. Whatever, if the government declares a full war, I am with the government. Though I don't believe war is a solution.
Right.
But my question, basic question, forget the full war, because both are nuclear power. It is not easy to make a full war. I am an army man's son, and I understand that nuclear power nations cannot have a full-fledged war easily. 71 was different. 1971, even India was not nuclear power. But the question that I'm asking the government, why has the government not stopped all diplomatic relations with Pakistan, all economic relations with Pakistan? They are saying that no more imports from Pakistan. Why don't you also stop exports from India to Pakistan as well?
Right.
Stop every possible relation. Isolate Pakistan internationally, diplomatically and economically. Are you doing that? If Imran Khan is saying, show me the proof, then I will take steps. There are several proofs. There are intercepted signals. There are Jaish-e-Mohammed's own acceptance that they have done it. Show the proof. Show the proof on the floor of the United Nations. What is the point of making some hooligans on the street being excited in the name of nationalism and create a havoc? Half of the several cities of India is in tension just now. Why? Why should my people suffer for failures of government, for failures? And then there are long-term issues of winning over Kashmir and security, which
absolutely.
I'm not taking you.
I just want to come to Dr. Shahid on this point that till now, whatever the discussion is happening, no one is blaming India's intelligence. The first thing we should have done, instead of going to Pakistan and blaming them, why are we not questioning Ajit Doval, the NSA, the military, Indian intelligence agencies, and Indian governments? So your reaction?
There is no doubt about that. There is intelligence failure. Whether you say it, you do not say it. Whether the governor says it, does not say it. I know for certain, whenever such convoys move, whenever the army, military convoys move, there is a clearance given by the security agency that the route is clear. Then only they move. I have handled cases in Government of India myself. When the clearance is given, then only such convoys move. And convoys of such large size, not one vehicle, two vehicles, three vehicles, 75 vehicles carrying thousands of soldiers. Only when the clearance is given by some agency, that's not coming in newspapers. They must find out who gave clearance, the road is clear.
Exactly.
Who gave clearance?
Why?
Just young boy who lives in the nearby village, who's a Kashmiri, who's not a Pakistani, who has been a radar of the intelligence. Why doesn't they have a movement of that boy and their knowledge of intelligence? How this RDS came all the way across the border. RDS came all the way across the border over a period of time. It cannot came. All intelligence people know so much of quantity RDS cannot came in one go. It came over a period of time, slowly, it got accumulated.
Exactly.
Then this vehicles were hired. Who said to be the Mr. Dar, who said to be part of, or who's involved. Adil Dar, who's involved in this.
He must have been trained for months.
He's been trained. Exactly. Family says today's newspaper, the mother said he was involved in terrorism. He was involved for whatever reason, he was involved. Why was he not watched? Why his movement was not being known to intelligence agencies? The total failure of intelligence. Total
So
failure
now
of intelligence.
the point is,
And that's why I'm
Let's go
saying,
beyond it.
I'm saying that it's not that Pakistan did what and what they.
पाकिस्तान में हम बाद में आएंगे, अभी बात ये है,
अभी देखिए हमारी इंटेलिजेंस को इस सारे पूरे परिक्रमा का कोई पता ही नहीं था, और ये हो गया, उसके बाद हम सारे एक्शन की बातें कर रहे हैं. सो अगर टेररिज्म को लड़ना है तो हमारी इंटेलिजेंस को टेररिज्म के इंसिडेंट होने से पहले सारी चीजें मालूम होनी चाहिए.
Now,
हमारे एस्टेब्लिशमेंट को सारा मालूम होना चाहिए,
बिल्कुल.
तभी हमारी मिलिट्री, हमारी एयरफोर्स तभी वो एक्शन कर पाएगी. एनी सच एक्ट, एनी टेररिस्ट एक्ट इज अ फेलियर ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस. अगर इंटेलिजेंस कोई बता दे ये होने वाला है तो टाइमली एक्शन से सब रुक सकता है.
then
That's the point I'm saying.
Perfect.
then
Totally with you, sir.
do you think
Totally with you, sir. And this is very painful. And there's some head must roll. I am a dean of a college. If there is a small problem in the college, someone is punished.
So I know
and this such a
Yes.
big mistake, nobody is.
that is what my point is. क्या इनको रिजाइन नहीं देना चाहिए?
जरूर.
क्या इनको फायर नहीं करना चाहिए?
आप resign
चाहे नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एडवाइजर हो, चाहे आर्मी चीफ हो, इंटेलिजेंस चीफ हो, क्या सबसे पहला पनिशमेंट उनके खिलाफ जाना चाहिए या नहीं? क्या डू यू एग्री विद दिस?
देखिए आप रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स करें,
हाँ,
जरूर फिक्स
responsibility fix
करें,
करें.
जरूर फिक्स करें, उसको निकालें ना निकालें, लेकिन जब तक आपका इंटेलिजेंस सिस्टम इंप्रूव नहीं होगा. और कश्मीर
नहीं,
जैसा
देखिए मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूं.
आप-
चाइना में आज से 20 साल पहले एक ट्रेन हादसा हुआ था और उन्होंने 6 लोगों को फांसी दे दिया था वहीं पे. उसके बाद से पिछले 20 साल में चाइना में टेरर अटैक, आपका
आप जो बात-
ट्रेन अटैक हुआ नहीं.
फेवर में नहीं है.
आप-
रेस्पॉन्सिबल
आप जो
सवाल ये है,
आप जो बात कह रहे हैं वो पोस्ट एक्शन है कि आपने उसको रेस्पॉन्सिबल करके हैंग कर दिया, आपने मालूम कर लिया. सो आज आपने पकड़ लिया, जयेश का लीडर था, उसको आपने मार दिया, किया
बिल्कुल.
आपने, मार दिया आपने,
सही है, perfect.
वो मार दिया. बहुत सही किया और अच्छा करना चाहिए, और टेररिस्ट का जवाब सख्ती से देना चाहिए. टेररिज्म को टॉलरेट नहीं करना है. टेररिज्म न सिर्फ हमारे जैसे प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा इनस्टेबिलिटी आती है, जैसे कहा जा रहा है कि देश में बंटवारा करते हैं, जैसे कि आपसे शहरियों को परेशानी होती है, टेररिज्म के बहुत नुकसान आते हैं. इससे इसको सख्ती से करना चाहिए. लेकिन मेरा कहना यह है कि इसको रोकने से पहले बाद के एक्शन क्या है वो अपनी जगह है, लेकिन पहले का एक्शन जो है वो जब तक आप मजबूत नहीं करेंगे, अब
सही है.
तक वो स्ट्रक्चर मजबूत नहीं करेंगे, वो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट मजबूत नहीं करेंगे. अगर हमारे एनएसए, ये एनएसए कौन है? ये एनएसए वो है जिन्होंने जैश ए मोहम्मद के हाफिज सईद साहब को अरेस्ट किया था पाकिस्तान. ये एनएसए ये वो हाफिज सईद है जिनको हमने
छोड़ा था.
हवाई जहाज में बैठा के वहां पहुंचाया था,
कंधार में जाके
कंधार में
छोड़ा
पहुंचाया
था.
था, जो कंधार से जाके पहले मुल्ला उमर से मिले थे, मुल्ला उमर ने मिलने के बाद फिर पाकिस्तान पहुंचे. वो दुनिया जानती है सब क्या है, लेकिन वो हमारे डोवल साहब नहीं जानते, उनको हमसे आपसे बेहतर जानते हैं, हमसे आपको बेहतर. तो उनको कैसे हैंडल करना है, तो कैसे हैंडल करना है, हम आज तक चाइना को कन्विंस नहीं कर पा रहे कि चाइना ये कहती है और सबूत दीजिए, और सबूत दीजिए. उसको टेररिस्ट इंटरनेशनल टेररिस्ट डिक्लेयर करने के लिए चाइना इज ओनली अर्चन इन द वे, इज ओनली अर्चन इन द वे. सो वेयर आर वी
I
we are failing.
right, Ajay,
You are
you're
not able to convince the bird. Here is a gentleman who is a terrorist, who is a mastermind. Bird is not convinced.
नहीं, ठीक है, ये
आज सिर्फ जितने बयान आए हैं, सबने टेररिज्म को कंडेम किया है, इंसिडेंट को कंडेम किया है, except France. Nobody has taken the word of Jaish e Mohammed. Neither Trump nor America nor Britain, except French, said कि जैश ए मोहम्मद is responsible. So where is our diplomatic success?
Success, exactly.
जो आज से पहले होनी चाहिए.
right. Ajay, क्या now
No, I need to address some things that
हाँ,
I
right.
strongly disagree with on grounds of facts, pure facts.
absolutely
Right? I will make it one by one. First of all, with respect to reports of students being harassed at universities across the country, and the specific name that was taken was of Dehradun, I believe. Right? The Uttarakhand police had made it abundantly clear that no such incident had taken place.
okay.
Sure, there
are
might be
pictures of
claims.
students
Sir,
living. Anyway,
yes,
never.
I'm getting to the point. There might be claims. Where there are claims, if such actions are happening as is being claimed by multiple individuals just over social media, lodge the FIR, report it to the police. Right? The due process of law will be followed if at all such a thing is happening. Because merely saying things on social media or
Yeah,
on a podcast
absolutely.
it does not mean that the thing becomes fact. As of now, it is not fact.
Yogesh,
Number one.
But there has
jungle leader Yogesh
Yeah.
has been already
No.
named in FIR, and that's
Number two, with respect to people getting on the ground, right? Sure, it's not going to solve anything at all, at least with respect to the security implications or terrorism at large, right? But why is it that the blame must lie with the army establishment or the civilian intelligence establishment? show intelligence, right? I'm not. If people, sure, there is a separate aspect with respect to a systemic intelligence failure. That's separate.
So
But
can't we take action against it?
No. So here's the deal.
Yeah. My point is that because unless we do that, we cannot actually.
I'm your points, the ones made by Mr. Chowdhry and by the professor, but I'll address each of those points.
Right.
So with respect to people getting on the streets, it's up to the people, right? Sure, I don't think it's going to solve anything, right? But people at this point are filled with rage and they cannot do anything else. They also feel helpless. The civilian population feels helpless.
Right.
They can't see. So on one hand, we have seen people getting to the streets on the deaths of terrorists, right? We have seen that happen.
That's a great success. So
No, what's a great
the
success?
death of the
I'm not
terrorists.
saying people got on the streets protesting the deaths of terrorists, right? Death sentences
Death by terrorists.
No. So, in the past, we have seen people get on the streets protesting either the armed forces killing.
That's equally to be opposed.
No, so that's what I'm saying. If those people have the freedom of speech and expression, as we call it, as do these people, right? It's not like the government's going to people's homes and saying, no, you need to get on the street right now. People are doing so out of their own volition, and they have a right to do so. I'm not saying it solves anything, right?
Civilian deaths have to be protested. There's nothing wrong in that.
As do military deaths, sir. You're saying civilian deaths you're saying a civilian life is more important than a military life.
No. I said civilian deaths also has to be protested. There is no conflict.
So terrorists were killed and people protested on the death of terrorists. I'm so sorry, you're mistaken on the grounds of facts.
Right. Okay.
Now, done yet. With respect to diplomatic efforts, it's not just France, the United States, the National Security Advisor, Mr. Bolton, has made a very clear statement. It's on record. You know what's stated.
There's a terrorism and
China.
So the question is the only Jaish Mohammed specifically is United States of America.
That's more
Sir,
important
the United
because
States of
Jaish
America.
Mohammed is responsible.
Sir,
we are putting finger there.
the
We
United
know
States-
that none of them are saying
The
that.
United States recognizes Jaish Mohammed as a terrorist, unlike the people involved in China.
But the UN is not doing it.
So because China is going to block it.
That's a failure.
So what is the
That's a
failure?
failure.
Where is the failure lie?
Because China, you are not able to convince the UN
Sir,
that he has
no
to
Indian
defend-
government ever since 62 would be able to convince China of anything
No,
on the
it's not
security
a
establishment.
A government, a B government.
Now-
It's an A, B government. It's our failure.
Then what is the point that you were going to make?
China
We're
will
going
never
to
convince. Their strategic
Then-
interests lie in supporting the Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Their strategic interests lie in destabilizing the north of India.
What do you do now then?
Yes.
If that is the
Answer.
case.
I will get to the solution. The solution cannot be to say fire the army chief, fire the NSA, fire this individual, fire the home secretary, fire the defense secretary.
Okay.
That's not the solution.
Okay.
We need these people to first act.
Right.
Because there's only one solution to the problem.
Some responsibility fixing. There is a word and concept.
It's not a question of
Fixing
fixing
responsibility. It
responsibility.
happens in a small companies of 5 people also. If there is a big mishap,
Yeah.
one is responsible.
That is the point.
Whoever.
Sure, there is a systemic failure who's denying that. What I'm saying
Then where is
who will
the
take
punishment?
action? I'm saying,
Who is the-
Maybe should not there be a punishment?
Okay.
No,
So now we
that's
get
not
to
good
the
punishment.
issue.
That's not good punishment. First, let us know the fix the responsibility.
facts of the-
It's not a systematic failure. Forget there's a difference between systemic failure and individual failure.
So you're saying this is an individual failure?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it could be system also. But
It is the system that's
But
failed.
system run by
No,
people.
sir.
System
System-
run by
sir.
people.
No,
He
sir.
claims that
No,
bullying is personally responsible.
Sir, there is a system which says you can give a clearance before a convoy moves.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
the systemic failure.
So no systematic failure. The person who gave information that there is a road is clear, go ahead.
That means that person
somebody
is wrong.
must have given
That
clearance.
person is wrong. That's not army head.
That's
There's a
not-
total
Maybe
lie.
someone in very low rank of the army who
Doesn't
says-
matter.
Whosoever.
When there is a rail accident, linesman is responsible.
So-
the motorman is responsible.
Should-
That was responsible
I
here.
know,
There's a difference.
I know for certain dog squads go. The other bomb detectors go around. Then they say road is
When the
clear.
rail accident happened, the linesman
My
and the motorman is responsible.
so what I got. Okay, let me
standing there saying there is clearance around.
So
got it, got the
Some
point.
people need to act.
So viewers,
Act if you fire the NSA. If you
I got your point. Now I want to close this part and I want to go move ahead
Let me
on
say
this.
this. Sorry for the interruption. It's not an NSA. It's not an army intelligence or IB intelligence. It's a whole system of intelligence. Whatever, whether they came to Bombay, we didn't know they are come by sea. We didn't know about that. What happened in the Parliament, we didn't know. What happened in Pathan,
Now-
we didn't know. What happened in Pulwama, we didn't know. That's the intelligence failure. That's the continuous intelligence
Yes, it
failure.
is. I know.
So that is what my
is not his responsibility to fix, or you should just go away. Okay, it happens. It happens. It's a systematic problem.
So Ajay,
Responsibility needs to be fixed, sir.
Yes,
I'm not denying that. No one
okay.
denying that.
No. I want to move ahead from here. Okay. Panelists,
No,
Has the government made anyone responsible down the line? Yet,
Shouldn't
72 hours, 96 hours have happened. Has even one person been made responsible for something?
I want to close this part.
Something does not make a nationalist. Some systems make a nationalism.
Okay. I want to close this. Ajay, now listen to me. I want to move ahead from here because this is not the part of our purpose of the debate or discussion. Our discussion is to find a solution. Now, when we say that, see, on 27 July 2015, Gurdaspur, 7 people, civilians and 4 policemen were killed in an attack. Pathankot, 2nd January 2016, 3 security personnel were killed. Now,
Or even if you reel out
then 2001,
before reel out the number, that's only statistics. What is important is that the largest number of security people have been killed in the last 2 years, in the last 10
That is-
among the last 10 years.
Right.
The
Then-
365 days, the
then-
largest number of security people.
for every incident, my point is,
And is that not a failure of anyone who is governing? Anyone
Yeah.
who is governing, irrespective of the party.
we have to take. So the lesson from this, our panelists disagreed on many points, but my point is very clear. If this systematic failure is happening, if there is a systematic failure of intelligence, the first thing for any sensible government or people in power is to do with an internal checking of this
Exactly. Agree.
and to take some corrective actions. Otherwise,
I tell you
every
one
time anything happens, we cannot go on the
first step
street.
of public governance, what we have learned from my experience in government of India, and the
Now,
message
now,
of
now.
public governance. First, you must anticipate the.
I want to introduce the second part of it.
And then
I got your point. Now I want to go to the second part of it. अब ये हो गया, पुलवामा तक हो गया, जहां पे 42-40. अब फ्यूचर में ऐसा इंसिडेंट ना हो इस देश में, उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए? सबसे बड़ा सवाल है
that there are standard operating process which Ajay is also agreeing. Standard operating processes have to be solidified and strictly, maintained. And that maintenance is proven when there is a failure, someone must be responsible. That's one part. Second part, Pakistan has to be diplomatically, economically isolated. As has been already pointed out, I do not think Pakistan has been so far successfully diplomatically isolated completely. To an extent, yes, but not completely. And economically, and I put it very strongly, on the Intel failure, the governor has already said, so that point is made. But on this point, India has revoked MFN status.
MFN
most
status.
favored nation. First of all, why was Pakistan a most favored nation in business? So far, I do not know. But anyway, it has revoked. Good. India has increased 200% taxes on imports from Pakistan. And why don't you stop that imports itself? Will India die if Pakistan imports are not here? And India has not yet announced anything on the exports from India to Pakistan. Why can't we stop that?
Sir,
Because it hurts the Indian
may
business.
I intervene, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
May I intervene, sir? How much is the volume of business between India and
Nothing.
Pakistan? Nothing. So
Nothing.
whether you stop it or do not stop it, it's not going to adversely affect.
Iran is doing it. Iran is telling
it's
that we
not going to
stop
adversely
our
affect
business.
Pakistan. It's not going to adversely affect Pakistan because volume of trade with India, direct trade with India and Pakistan.
But that's
very
a
limited.
statement.
No, there's a statement. Enough. You make them most favored state or not most favored state is not going to affect. Unless they are economically hurt, unless they are not, because their anti-India stance, their pro-Kashmir stance is favoring their army establishment over
Exactly.
there. It's favoring their political interests over there.
Right.
And they're supporting the.
And so is it in India.
No.
I mean, it's just
India is not
that.
in power of the economy.
So they will continue these issues unless we do not hurt them there. We do not hurt them
Agree.
there.
That point I agree.
No, how do we hurt that? How do we hurt it?
I'm saying this.
How do you hurt them economically?
Now, these things are being talked about. I think we can do that. We can stop Indian water treaty with Pakistan
Correct.
immediately.
Right.
Our entire water
Sir,
will go to
I'm
India
telling-
to Pakistan. Pakistan will starve of water.
Yes, that's
The-
not
the-
water.
the
I am-
next day-
I am
Our
telling
water.
to the extent diplomatic relations बंद कर दीजिए.
Now,
आप
नहीं.
अपना दूतावास बंद कर दीजिए.
अच्छा,
आप
Ajay,
कर रहे हो फिर दूतावास.
I get the point. But my fear is
There's
that
one issue that can hurt them.
Yeah.
Economically hurt them. पानी देना बंद कर दिया।
चलो हम पाकिस्तान को पानी देना बंद किया, उसके दूसरे दिन चाइना इंडिया को पानी छोड़ना बंद कर देगा। अब मुझे बताइए क्या होगा?
चाइना के पानी हम डिपेंड नहीं है।
हम हैं थोड़ा बहुत।
When we talk about the logistical feasibility of a military operation, we also need to talk about the logistical feasibility of cutting off water supply when you want, right? What is the logistical feasibility? What if the neighboring areas within the Indian territory will get flooded as a result of that? I'm not saying you do or you do not do that. Sure, if the government believes
Your solution then.
Yes.
What are the solutions?
Yeah, sure. I'll get to the solution. Right? If you want to talk about a long-term thing, because it was not addressed earlier, and
We do not want this thing to happen in future. Then what do we do?
Right? Mr. Chowdhry mentioned, and I'm not correcting him on his sentiment. His sentiment is correct. I'm correcting him only on the phraseology, which I think is important because optics are important in such a war. Right? He said that how will they believe that India is part of their motherland? That's not it.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Yes, I'm giving you the long-term solution.
Give me the long-term
This is
solution.
the long-term
But
solution.
this is an emotional issue, is an important point.
Sir, that is the long-term issue. That is the long-term solution.
Sir, I totally agree with you.
Terrorism flourishes because of two reasons. Terrorism flourishes because of two reasons, sir.
Yeah.
One is the material support,
Right.
and one is the ideological support.
Ideological.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Material support will continue. You kill the ideological support, the material support
How do
will
you
not.
kill that?
How do you kill that? Now that is the point. Now.
Yes, that is the largest.
How do you kill that?
How do you kill that?
And that is
How
where
do we make Kashmiri people ordinary? I'm not talking of terrorists. I'm not talking the radicalist dude. The ordinary Kashmiri people. I have at least 5 journalist friends in India. In India means working in not in Kashmir, in this part, Delhi, Rajasthan, and all, who are Kashmiri origin. How do we make everyone feel wanted, loved the way we are?
Okay.
The way you are important to me as an
So
entrepreneur,
you're-
as I am important to you as an academic. Do we really think the Kashmiri youth
So,
important to us?
Raja, I get your point. Your point is that the discontentment. This point.
I mean,
discontentment.
we have to integrate them to our.
I will just.
I'm building on what he's saying.
I can read a tweet by as big a person as Governor of Meghalaya Tathagat Rai, who is saying for 2 years stop Amarnath Yatra, stop every business with Kashmiri youth. Stop every student taking admission in Indian colleges and universities. And he has talked about carpet business and certain other businesses. Then see how Kashmir bends down to India. This is the language of a governor.
Okay, sir.
No, what I am.
the governor's spokesperson.
I do not. Why
I'm
this?
getting to the
I'm not
solution.
fighting with
I'm
you.
getting
I'm
to the
only
solution.
giving you
I'm getting to the
a
solution.
reality of
I'm getting to
the
the
public
solution. I'm
mind.
getting to the solution. Right? With
Yes.
respect to cutting off ideological support. Right? What he's saying is that there is ideological support. Not that should be a justification to carry out the kind of attacks that were carried out. That's a separate issue.
Yeah. No, terrorism cannot be justified.
Yes,
Yeah.
even if you're discontent with the
Yeah,
government,
still you cannot
right?
justify.
There was discontentment in the state of Punjab,
Yes.
right? And sure, that too, like Jammu and Kashmir, had a religious element to it,
Yes.
right? At this point in the history of this country, we do not see the local politicians. Right, because this is about stake,
Yeah,
this is about skin in the game.
Yeah.
We don't see, sure, there is one odd former cricketer, but we don't see the leaders, and I don't think Namjot Singh Sindhu controls the political establishment in Punjab, but I don't see the leader of the state of Punjab pushing a narrative against the Republic of India.
No,
we
never.
see that with local leaders in Jammu and Kashmir.
No.
That was discontent. That was discontent in Punjab as well.
You gave power to SAD.
Let him speak.
In Punjab, you gave power to Shrommani Akali Dal and joining hand with them. Governance is given to them.
I will-
Who was
You are-
leading the
Ajay,
whole
no, no.
Khalistan movement.
And this,
Ajay,
the other
you,
point.
you solve the problem.
A
there.
very
How you
important
solve
point.
it?
Ajay,
You
I would like to bring another important point.
Just giving
If you
example.
say radicalization of youth, yes, it is worsened. In the last 2 years, it is worsened heavily. I know that personally.
I don't think it's the last 2 years. It's the last
No.
30 odd years.
No. This is an overstatement. Say 68% of the people voted in the. Just a minute. Let's listen to facts. You are talking of facts. Then for a moment, listen to this. 68% of the people of Kashmir voted in the last assembly election. And out of those who voted, out of every 100 people, 72 people have voted for PDP and BJP, either PDP or BJP. And both of them have come together. That means
72% of Jammu and Kashmir, sir.
together. Yes, I'm talking
Yes.
Jammu and Kashmir. I'm
So
talking,
now-
there is a statement is not made. 68% of total electorate of Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, as it means J&K, have voted in the elections, which was not so high vote percentage earlier. At one point in time, 6% people only voted, if you remember, in which Farooq Abdullah was elected as an MP. And out of those who voted, for every 100 people, 72% voted for PDP or BJP. And together they came out with 56 seats. That's a very successful, great. The Congress and NC were completely marginalized. Sure. And it is an extraordinary experiment that Mufti Sahib and Modi Sahib came together to form government. I salute to that decision. Now, next point. After that decision, there was Lal Chowk Maidan meeting where Mufti Sahib and Modi Sahib addressed and told to the people of Kashmir that we will have a 10,000 crores worth development package. They named, IIM was named, IIT was named. They named the package, hospitals and everything. I can show you 4.5 years ago's newspaper report where the full Times of India came out with a big chart of Government of India promises to Kashmir, JNK, Kashmir means JNK. This is all. Not even 10% of that has been fulfilled. People believed in India. Okay. People were not radicalized 4 years ago. No. But we have failed. And the government has failed. The local politicians have failed.
Okay. So
that means it's not.
But I'm only explaining.
You don't convert to one-to-one dialogue. It's not convert to one-to-one dialogue. But sir, what you said is maybe correct. Is correct. But you should not forget there's a Pakistan factor also.
Yeah, agreed.
When you agree to that, so you cannot discount that factor. And that factor, as I said, has a linkages with their establishment, army establishment, and government. So they always see that Kashmir remain disturbed. Right. It's in their interest. So they will never let Kashmir be in a peaceful condition. They keep exporting.
Then what do we do?
Let me complete, sir.
Yeah.
So when the one hand you say that our government or our governance system has failed in action, but there's an external element which is constantly.
Professor, when I say our government has failed, does not mean that Pakistan was not trying to.
So I'm saying. So therefore,
both factors are gone.
So you consider both. And then you have to counter that also. You have to counter that. Our failure give them a fertile ground.
That's the point. That's the point I want to conclude.
What I'm saying now it's going to become more difficult. You cannot forget.
It is just de-escalating.
Let me complete, sir. It's a very important point. Don't forget. The Taliban in Afghanistan has been given a political recognition now. Right. And Taliban is going to get power in the power structure in Afghanistan, which America's withdrawal from there.
Because after ISIS, Taliban is again coming up.
So ISI and Taliban.
ISIS, again Taliban is coming
up. So Pakistan, ISI has a big control on Taliban.
Right.
Now, after that, Kashmir will be a fertile ground for them. Once they become in power in Afghanistan, ISI in control in Pakistan, Kashmir, and there have been flags. I've seen during the agitation that they want to make it an Islamic state. It's no more a separatist movement. It's no more a terrorist movement.
Which means this clearly
against
which is a very dangerous thing for India. Yes. It's very dangerous we cannot forget all those things. So we have to have a strategic deployment over there.
That's a huge warning signal.
One point is internal of the land. One point is border.
Sir,
on the border, what you are saying is perfectly right.
So therefore, I'm saying. Our army is wrong. Armed forces intervention or that strategic intervention should be very absolutely correct. Now, in that context, we have to play a very important diplomatic role. We have to see that the world is with us and they stopped. Why Pakistan is successful diplomatically? Because they have shown to the world geographically I am very important to you.
Yeah.
And now they are playing this.
So I just want
to. No. There are multiple points that need to be made here. Before all else, a fundamental thing needs to be accepted and realized. It might be a harsh reality for many in the valley, but this part needs to be realized not just for the Indian democracy, but for all democracies across the world. If you want to be part of the political system, if you want to be part of the democratic process, you cannot continue to be a part of it while claiming that you wish to destroy it. You cannot say that you want to form government and at the same time, terrorists are sons of the soil. There is a difference. The moment you're killing either armed forces personnel or civilians, you forego your right of being the son of this soil. I'm not done yet. I'm sorry. I will finish. For those political parties that wish to separate from the Republic of India, either explicit or implicit, de-recognize them. They shouldn't be allowed to contest elections. PDP.
Then why is BJP time?
They're wrong. I'm not BJP spokesperson.
And why has the ruling party of India? Why has the ruling party of India?
I am not a PDP.
So there are two things.
Which PDP says supporting terrorism? Where they are supporting? They were with the governance about a year back, 6 months back. They were the governance. They were the governance with the government of India.
That means it's a wish talk. So it's not reality. It's not fact. Wish talk.
So no, I'll respond to that. I'll tell you about the reality. I'll tell you about the reality.
Listen to me. First of all, have a patience, listen to somebody, then respond. It means in our governance system there's something wrong. We are
हम पाकिस्तान को क्यों ब्लेम कर रहे हैं?
shaking hand with.
मुझे लगता है हम इंटरनली अभी क्लियर नहीं है what we have to do.
Sir, we are our governance something wrong. We are shaking hand with who are the terrorists. PDP.
PDP is the biggest sympathizer of separatists.
Yes.
That's a clear proven fact.
That's who are building.
So one
This
point
central government.
from your discussion, what comes is the conclusion professor is making that the decision was wrong.
Yeah,
But
Our government is wrong.
I would like to say,
BJP. Our government is wrong.
I would like
we
to
do not
say
identify.
PDP
That's not our failure. Religious
I-
failure or political failure or
yes.
decision failure.
I would like to say PDP is not a terrorism apologist, and that's why BJP partnered with it. BJP being a nationalist party. Having said that,
There's a difference between
PDP
explicit and implicit.
having said that, the point is that government of India's major party has partnered with them. That's reality. Now, having said that,
So that gives them legitimacy.
that actually gives them legitimacy.
You are giving.
Actually, you are giving, the government is giving legitimacy.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them.
That's a different issue. But no. Fact is that gives the legitimacy. What is legitimacy? When the governing organization and the majority of the country recognizes someone
The
that's
majority of the country does not serve as a
majority of the country is
Okay.
represented by the majority government.
Proven.
Legitimacy by definition. Legitimacy by definition.
That doesn't take away from the fact. That doesn't take away from the fact that they have a bent.
Then my question is, why did the government do it?
Yes, they were wrong.
No, so first point is
The
that.
government of India never did it. It's the Bharatiya Janata Party. There's a fundamental
Bharatiya Janata Party,
difference.
which is in government.
Yes.
Which is in government.
Yes.
So मतलब जो दो पॉइंट
We're
निकला.
not deceiving ourselves.
No, BJP is doing, government of India is not doing. Who's governing?
These are semiotics.
Okay. So I want to go ahead from here.
Governing of India.
There are 2-3 points. Okay. I get clear 2-3 points from here. One, we did not make our security forces, intelligence accountable for the mistakes they have been making since the beginning of this government.
I'm in disagreement with that.
Okay, but the second point that we agree or we find out is that most of the political parties have also directly or indirectly been promoting and legitimizing and advocating in part with the separatist parties and all. I want to go to the third part. Third part is
when you go to the third part, agreed, the future solutions have to be thought of, otherwise no discussion is complete. Having said this, we must also understand terrorism, continuation of terrorism is actually in the interest of everyone. Let me tell you the fact.
I'm going to
that is the point actually I want to
I'll
come.
prove that. It is in the interest of Pakistan. By showing Kashmir, they take weapons from the world, from around the world. They take funds from, aid from US. The army legitimizes its actions. Army legitimizes its coup, and all those things they do, showing Kashmir, showing bleeding Kashmir. Azad Kashmir is under the tutelage of India. Whereas they completely exploit the people in Pakistan occupied, so-called Pakistan occupied.
Absolutely, they don't treat them properly.
So, continuation of terrorism is in the ultimate interest of current Pakistani state.
Yes.
Army
Not
led
all
state.
states.
First.
All government systems.
Second, it is in the interest of the terrorists because that is how they get money, that is how they get training, that is how they get this image of power and a dream, so-called dream of Behest being in Kashmir and all that.
Yeah.
So it is in the interest of the terrorist groups like Jassim Mohammed or any other. It is also in the interest of the local separatist leaders like Gilani and all others. You know that Hurriyat leaders. It is in their interest, but other than that, they have nothing to show off. So basically, so far they were even enjoying complete protection by the state.
Yeah.
The current government has just taken off, and I support it that it has been taken off. So they were actually enjoying a position. They were getting funds also, I'm told. They were getting support from across border. So it was in their interest. It is in the interest of the Indian Army and the police as well, local police.
No, that's not true.
No, I am telling it why it is. I am telling it why it is. Why it is.
I am feeling
The AFSPA continues because there is terrorism, and because AFSPA continues, there are certain liberties that the police and the army can take.
But
And let me also say, government of India in Congress time itself, for a terrorist arrested, living terrorist with arms arrested 5 lakhs. For a dead terrorist arrested, arrested means
No, that's not a business. That's not. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you.
There are
That's not a
police
business for
informers,
that.
there are police people
That's
who
not
have
a
gone on
business.
record
No,
saying
no, that's
that
not-
there is a business around it.
No, that's not a business.
That's a very different and
That's not
like,
army's
very
business.
scary
That's not a police
now
business.
the
findings.
Point I'm saying, point which you are saying that our people are imposing AFSA because they want to earn money. Or army is imposing AFSA because they want to earn 5 lakh rupees here.
Acha, I want
army. It's not army.
Opposite,
It's certain individuals.
All individuals.
And it also helps the
See,
certain parties because showing
AFSA
that
is there.
there is a possibility of polarization.
AFSA in Northeast also. AFSA in Northeast also. It's a compulsion.
I know. AFSA in Northeast is protested by the local people.
So it's
Meghalaya, Mizoram in a strong way.
AFSA never comes in favor of any local civilians. Any civilians.
After the compulsion. After the compulsion, and as I said, the Kashmiris, what you are saying is looking like a terrorism as a business. Terrorism may be in the interest of Pakistan. And
Sir,
people like
globally terrorism is a business.
What I'm saying, no,
Terrorism is nothing more than business.
One part of it. It's one part.
Yeah, I mean,
Not total of it. But the point with all the newspapers are crying, all the channels are crying, that Kashmir is a political issue.
that is also a part that we need to discuss.
Address a political issue. It's not a mere law and order. Not a mere thing. It's a law and order issue. It's a terrorist issue.
Sir,
It's a diplomatic issue. It's an intelligence issue.
No,
political
we'll talk about the political issue also.
Political
But
issue.
sir, please understand, this terrorism cannot continue for 4 decades. If only the people of Kashmir, it is against their interest. It solves polarization across the country. It solves business interest of a group of people. It solves Pakistan's rational existence.
I totally. I think it's very valid point raised by you.
Everyone likes to look at one part of the problem.
Ajay,
part of the problem.
Ajay and Dr.
But say in India, the polarization. Polarization.
It will be done now.
No,
You will see polarization happening on
Polarization. No polarization. The Indian voter is not all that immature. That
We hope so. Yes, we hope so.
Go on the one issue of Kashmir and vote. They have the road issue. They have their bread issue. They have a job issue. They have a issue.
I also have faith
They
that
have
the people
their
will
own
look at
issues,
their own lives
and they have been voting accordingly. I mean, they have been voting accordingly. So that's a separate.
The other important
point I'm saying.
Okay, I want to conclude the discussion now shortly. The other two important area I want your focus and points is that don't you think that media is also to blame, for the lot of anti-Kashmiri, this sentiment that is being built over years. Do you think media has a role or had played a very negative role?
Media. Just said is better about media. Just said is better
because
about
media is just to earn TRP.
Yes.
Is creating that sort of India
Electronic media
and time to strike and all those things. The type of hashtags that they are using and the type of language they are wearing, army fatigue with an image of a weapon. Anchor is making presentation. This is all hoodwinking. This is all TRP making. There is no sense of social responsibility. The media must come forward and say, let the whole country unite against Pakistan. But the entire country also consider every citizen their own. They are making as if it is a Hindu-Muslim conflict. It is not a Hindu-Muslim conflict. It is India and terrorism conflict.
Yes.
That is the point I was raising in the beginning.
India and Pakistan conflict.
Yes, it's like that. It's not Hindu-Muslim. It's not Hindu-Muslim. It's not Hindu. And nobody is saying so.
Media is making an image.
Which media outfit is that?
Several media have got.
Name one.
No.
Name one.
Times Now.
Times Now said it's a Hindu-Muslim issue. What's the date? Who said it?
No, there are
Who said it?
hashtags.
No, this is being recording, sir.
I am putting on record. Hashtags are there. Go and
Name a specific hashtag that said it's Hindu versus Muslim. Name one protest where there were slogans against Muslims or Hindus.
Anti-Kashmiri slogans have been
That's
there.
a difference. That's a difference.
Anti-Kashmir slogans have been
Where
there.
is the
Okay.
Muslim
Now
issue that Times Now brought up? I want to ask that.
when it is an anti-Kashmir, it becomes Hindu.
No Indian is anti-Kashmir.
That should also not be there. That should
That
also
should
not
not
be
We're against terrorism brewing in Kashmir Valley. Everyone is. Civilians in Jammu and Kashmir are. Civilians in the rest of the country are.
Ajay, exactly this is what happened in this country. When this attack took place, some goons have been going to Kashmiri
No, when you
shops.
say the Indian army profits from terrorism, or the Indian army wants terrorism to continue,
Not army. There are
or individuals in the army, it can't be without the support of the army, obviously.
Right.
Films, several journalistic
journalism.
articles, just a minute, several journalistic articles across the world have written about it. The point is, we have plastic nationalism. We do not look at both sides of
Journalists across the world have written. Journalists write all sorts of complete
The
BS.
point is-
That is the point that we are also talking.
The point is-
that somewhere media is also to blame.
In mainstream
Now,
BBC media, including BBC and Washington
Mr. Chowdhry,
Post,
I think,
including many.
Mr. Chowdhry, I think it's not correct to make a sweeping statement.
No, I'm not saying that. That's why
So
you
if-
people are throwing the words that I'm saying.
So
Indian
how-
Army. My father is an army doctor, retired army doctor. I'm not even saying that Indian Army is doing it.
Even if
You said
No, not Indian Army.
Indian army.
No, individuals. You don't have to teach me about Indian. I'm brought up in services. I am brought up in a services area.
how's the establishment?
My father is an army doctor.
So how's the establishment failing?
Establishment failing at every point of time.
How?
I'm telling you, no. Last 2 years, the maximum number of security people have been killed.
Yeah.
That's not a failure.
The figures
That's not a failure.
What are the sources? What is the source of this figure?
I give
Thanks,
some.
no.
I give some figures there.
Everyone has got figures. This is in the public.
What-
Your
Okay.
ignorance is not my bliss. Your ignorance is not my
I'm
bliss.
asking for the source of the information.
So I tell you. So according
There
to
has been,
let me give you let me give you some facts.
Has the CRPF released this? Has the Indian Army released this? Has the Ministry of Defense released this?
the Ministry
Has the
of
Women's-
Defense.
Ministry of
That
Defense.
number of people killed every time.
Number
the
of
terrorists
army
have come.
personnel, number of security
Yeah, security
personnel
professionals.
killed in the last 2 years has been more than any last
About
year.
the last 10 years.
I give you some 2-3 facts. Okay, in 2016.
If you are disputing on fact, then it will.
I'm asking for the source.
Actually, see. Let us now go beyond this. Let us now go beyond
Several
this.
newspapers, several stories.
Okay. I want to now conclude this part and come to the point that now I want 2-3 things. I think to stop this terrorism problem of from this country, what are the actions we immediately need? We clearly find from this that there is clear incompetence from the point of the
I
government.
know. To
You give me
close the discussion. Let each one of us speak 1 minute
Right.
about what suggestions do you have.
yeah.
Rather than-
In 1 minute, just try to conclude.
Yes. One, let serious action against Pakistan happen. That a serious action, I'm not talking of full-fledged war, but complete stop of diplomatic, economic, water, and many other similar other relations. That's point one. And isolate it diplomatically, internationally. One. Two, let there be complete action against terrorist organizations, terrorism, and terror breeding, initiatives within India, within the Indian soil. And for that, if there are some little collateral damage, minimum, there is no other way. I agree to that. This is about the immediate thing. Second, find who are responsible for repeated failures of intelligence from Uri to Pathankot to Gurdaspur to this one, Pulwama. Everywhere there has been failure, nobody has been fixed. The government even has invited ISI to do Pathankot check. They went and gave a different report. They made a mockery of the Indian government. Anyway, so fix in responsibility. Second point. This is on the security part. Third part. The Prime Minister should openly come and say that so many reports are coming on Kashmiri people across the country facing harassments. And just now, if you just do a Google search, 30-40 reports will come across all media. So the Prime Minister should say, Kashmiri ordinary people are our brothers and sisters, are our citizens. So differentiate between the common Kashmiri and the terrorists. And the one good thing, the Sardar officer of Northern India, military services in Jammu, in Kashmir, recently has said, I request the mothers of Kashmir to tell their youths to surrender. If they surrender, they can come back to mainstream. Otherwise, we'll go to every hole and kill them. Good. I'm in favor of that. But that does not also mean that you lose out on building relationship with the civil society. When flood happened, army was great in its role in Jammu and Kashmir. Every family supported the army.
Right.
Why is that goodwill lost? When army made 36 schools across Jammu and Kashmir, I know facts far better because I'm an army man's son. 36 schools.
So your 1 minute is over.
Yeah.
So there were good initiatives taken. Schools, hospitals, football games.
That development work.
That needs to continue. And whatever
You
they
summed
promised,
up, you summed up well. You summed up well. Your government is over.
Sir, your point.
No, my point is very repetitive again and again. That I very strongly feel that intelligence mechanism should improve, and should improve to the extent that we must know what is going to happen. We must know to the minutest detail. We must know what is happening across the border, what is happening in POK, what is happening in our valley, and therefore only then we can take preventive action. On date, I feel with all these facts which has been just narrated, that there has been a serious failure on our intelligence system. A. B is that the Prime Minister and the government has said they will take action, and that short of war, limited action has also been allowed. I think it's a good.
There is surgical
strike. Surgical strike is maybe small. It need not to spell out.
Right.
It's a secretive thing.
Right.
We need not insist that they must tell us details that where you go, because it's a secretive mission. I think this must be done. It must be done. Like Americans went, killed Osama bin Laden right in Pakistan. Why can't we go right in Pakistan to this fellow Hafiz Saeed, or do something with people like them? Unless they are
or Mahmoud Azhar,
unless they are not affected, unless they are not heard, they are free to do anything. So we must hurt them where they are living.
Sir, how do we de-radicalize Kashmir?
Pakistan is not doing it. Pakistan is not doing that, so we must.
कश्मीर को कैसे problem? इसकी problem कैसे solve
That's what I'm saying, because Kashmir problem is. Why I'm saying so. The Pakistan is instigating Kashmir problem. So we cannot ignore that part of it. It's the part of their foreign policy. It's a part of their all entire existence. So therefore, Pakistan and terrorism in Pakistan has to be tackled. Therefore, I'm saying first intelligence, second hurt them inside Pakistan, whosoever has been roaming around there, and then they should be hurt. They must be told that if you do wrong thing, you will be hurt there also. The second part of it is long term. Now coming to the Kashmir, I say that if there is a feeling among the Kashmiris that they are not treated well, that feeling should be removed. That feeling should be removed. And that feeling should be removed by distinguishing or separating the terrorist people and the rest of them.
That's exactly what
and rest of them should be brought into the governance system.
Right.
Something has to be done in the governance system. There may be some risk involved in that. Maybe in the long term, but in the long term, it may pay. And that experiment was PDP, BJP. And it was a very hopeful experiment. That you joined hands. It was a very hopeful experiment.
Strong, revolutionary sort of an experiment.
Very hopeful experiment.
Failed.
Somehow it failed. It should not have failed. It failed for very petty reasons, for local politics and things like that. We should not.
Both should have gone beyond that political local.
So they should go on. So therefore, unless we do not disintegrate or dissociate between the terrorists, or separatists and West, we will perhaps not be successful in Kashmir. And only for that matter, any other reasons, whether it's Kashmir or whether it's the Naxalites or anything like that.
Right.
So therefore, it has to be tackled politically also. While we should be very firm with terrorism, while we should be very firm with Pakistan, we should be
very soft with
not soft. We should be pragmatic, realistic with the political issue also.
Ajay,
So I'm going to disagree with one thing to begin with, and this is the most important aspect. Whether it's people on the far left or the far left, right? They need to understand this one thing. Asking for casualties on our own side, or asking for whatever little collateral damage we can do it so that we can give a larger response is not the way forward. You want casualties or you're okay with casualties, pick up the gun, go fight. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want people to go on suicide missions? Go ahead. Tape stuff around yourself, go across the border. Don't call for something that you're not willing to do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what
I totally agree with you on that.
I disagree with Mr. Chowdhry on that. Right? With respect
Okay.
to
No. So this was completely different. So we just Professor Chowdhry talked very different.
He's okay with small amounts of casualties.
No.
Yeah, you give your solution.
Yeah, I'm giving my solution.
You give the solution. That's an absolutely brilliant solution that I have also been advocating.
There's two larger issues, right? I mean, with respect to large issues, I've written a paper, it's shared with you, right?
Right.
So I won't get into the details of things, but the two larger aspects of this, right? There is hard or material support that is given to terrorist organizations, right? Talking inside studios will never solve that. That's the job of the government. They will do it, right? They know it best. They don't have an interest in goofing that up or spoiling that, right? It is not that they're gaining politically, economically, or otherwise by not going down the right path when dealing with such security threats. So they will deal with it. No matter what government, no matter which bureaucrat, they will deal with it. They know how. There's one thing that the government of India, if you disagree with everything else, one thing they know is at least how to deal with this.
And that's how they are dealing with.
What?
With all the dates, all the terror attacks.
They will deal it. You
Yeah.
heard they will deal it. That's
Destroying
government
terrorist
deal it.
organizations,
That's what I think,
destroying
that government
terrorist
deal it.
organizations is the government's job, right? If you want to look at extensive, the second aspect, the important aspect that I'm saying
Let
is
government do this.
the
Let
best
government do it.
way, the sort of most long-term way to do away with the material support that is provided to terrorists is cutting off and destroying, completely eradicating the ideological support that these terrorist outfits get.
ठीक है.
Right? And that needs to be met. There's a certain responsibility on civic society. Sure, the government can carry out certain measures. There's the most fundamental responsibility
Pakistan.
lies on. No, the responsibility lies on the media.
Right.
Especially those who peddle the narrative.
Pakistan solution. So solution on
Especially
Pakistan.
those who peddle the narrative.
Ideology is what? Islam or radicalism?
I'm saying someone who wants to break away the Union of India. That is the ideology.
That's terrorism.
That's the
not
ideology.
ideology.
Their ideology, sir, the ideology of Jaish-e-Mohammed is to break away India. No, it's very specific, sir. If they can achieve their goals without terrorism, they would be willing to do so.
Yeah.
Their objective-
I agree with this
Simple.
point.
They want to break off Jammu and Kashmir
agree.
and merge it with the Islamic Republic of Pakistan.
Perfect. Now,
I agree with this.
Some people believe in that ideology, sir.
Just a minute.
That ideology needs to be destroyed first. The material support will automatically destroy, sir.
Now-
And many local people support it. I think.
That's the ideology.
Yeah.
The ideology flourishes. Local politicians support.
I think that's not completely invalid
no,
point.
it's a very, very valid.
That is the only
point.
point here.
It is
Then how do you solve that problem?
Yeah,
The
let me-
point
let
is
me-
highly valid.
Sir, let me
Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorism has to be fought.
Sir,
But to connect it to all the local politicians, not the real. All local politicians. is wrong.
Sir, it's easier said than destroy the. Easier said than done.
I know.
Okay, we were concluding the discussion.
And
We are supposed to conclude the discussion.
You're not making mother statement.
And
I'll give the answer. There's a threefold strategy. I've explained this in my paper.
Yeah, paper
I believe.
already.
Sure, I'll give the solution. There are
Yeah.
three ways with respect to the ideological warfare that has to be carried out. The first is countering the direct propaganda of such outfits. Right? There is no disagreement on this.
Right.
The second stage, the second level of this ideological warfare, where there is some amount of disagreement, is countering those people who give this kind of propaganda free pass in the name of a tier 2, so to say, a free pass in the name of free speech and expression. It's the right to say.
I can agree with this.
Shift the window to say this is acceptable.
I think this is also valid,
This
but
is
then
not
I move
acceptable
it.
discourse. I'm going to the third part. The third part is
Yes.
positive propaganda. Positive propaganda, right? Now you have media outfits talking about hyper toxic nationalism for the release of a movie trailer. What happened to the Manoj Kumar of that generation, right? People sort of celebrated that. That was patriotism. And Uri somehow is not patriotism. I'm not talking about any other political film that's coming out. That's not. But we need to cherish.
No, Uri is good.
Sure, I'm saying there are media outfits that are criticizing that.
No, Uri is good.
Do you think
I'm
it has
saying-
not
I'm
been
saying-
done? It has not been done in the past.
I'm saying.
Well, it is getting more complicated.
Those who are opposing it.
It's supposed to get easy, but it's getting more complicated.
Those who are opposing it.
No, who's opposing it?
Sir,
you
the
say-
wire-
No, you said who is you
The
said.
buyer wrote a review of the.
So forget about. I'm not talking about.
So that's what my point is. That's the ideological warfare. They are carrying out an ideological warfare.
Listen to me.
Sure, sir.
Listen to me.
Sure.
You see, all these things, the positive propaganda, countering propaganda, all this being done over the years. Over the years, is no government, as you said, no government is slipping on that. All of us are doing it.
I want to conclude the discussion. So आप जब दो तीन एक्सपर्ट के बीच में फंसे हुए होते हैं और ऐसे एक सब्जेक्ट पे जिसकी कोई एंडिंग नहीं है, तो ये डिस्कशन कभी कंक्लूड नहीं हो सकती. दो तीन चीजें क्लियरली मेरे सामने आया. सबसे पहले तो कोई भी आज तक हमारे सरकार कॉम्पिटेंट हुए ही नहीं इस तरह से प्रॉब्लम को रोकने के लिए. ये सरकार के सामने चुनौती आती गई, इन्होंने आज तक सोल्यूशन नहीं निकाल पाया. उसका मेन कारण है कि हमारे जो इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, इंटेलिजेंस मैकेनिज्म, उस पे काम करने की जबरदस्त जरूरत है. वो चीज कोई भी सरकार एड्रेस करने की हिम्मत भी नहीं जुटा पाती, क्योंकि आर्मी, इंटेलिजेंस और इनके ऊपर मिलिट्री के ऊपर सवाल करना किसी की बस की बात नहीं है. दैट इज वन. जो अजय ने पॉइंट उठाया, कश्मीर इशू सॉल्व करना इतना आसान नहीं है, क्योंकि लोकल कश्मीरी, आई हैव स्पोकन टू मेनी कश्मीरी पीपल, they do not have clear support for India or clear, engagement with India. Not some development or this incentives is not going to solve this problem. I totally know this.
Positive propaganda is required.
Positive propaganda. आपको इनको रोकना बहुत मुश्किल काम है, क्योंकि बहुत कश्मीरी इंडिया के साथ रहना नहीं चाहता. इस प्रॉब्लम को आप कैसे सॉल्व करें, ये इतना आसान नहीं है.
बट उसका 10 रीजन, उसका एक स्टडी होना चाहिए ना?
उसका स्टडी, उसमें फोकस देनी चाहिए. कैसे आप उसको क्योंकि हम चाइना नहीं है कि उसको मार के एकदम गिरा के कर देंगे. हम एक डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्री है, क्योंकि कल यहाँ कांग्रेस की सरकार आने वाली है, होगा या किसी के भी आए तो चीजें बदलेगी.
अगर आप कंक्लूड करने जा रहे हैं तो मैं जरा इसमें डिसएग्री. कश्मीरी इंडिया के साथ नहीं रहना चाहता, ये कंक्लूजन गलत है मेरे ख्याल से.
मैं टोटली तो मैं अच्छा नाउ इज माय टर्न
इंटेलिजेंस फेलियर है हमारे पास.
ओके इट्स माय टर्न टू कंक्लूड नाउ. ये डिस्कशन बंद नहीं होने वाली है, एंड व्यूअर्स देखते रहिए. हम ऐसे ही सेंसिटिव मुद्दे के साथ कभी कभी आएंगे और इसके हल जानने के लिए. शुक्रिया.